Do you think there is hope for progression there?
If we're going to be honest, is very much a circus. And the very fact that some of you might be offended by what I just told you is proof of the massive shift that we need to have. And reality, I'm sorry, does not care for your feelings.
Hey Zesties, welcome to the Gleeful Talkshow, where we share zesty stories to cultivate the happiness and hero within and out. On the show, we talk about personal experiences and development, society, and culture. So, if these are the topics that you're interested in, then please keep on listening and consider following the podcast. Now, if you have been listening to this podcast for some time, you would notice that I talk about topics on immigration and my immigration journey. However, today's episode is a very special episode wherein we have a guest who will talk about his immigration journey and his opinions on immigration in general. And that's no other than my co host on the Nerdy Fans podcast, Ray. Hi, Ray. Welcome to the
Hi,
show.
Glee, and thank you for having me on the Gleeful Talk Show. And yes, I look forward to this topic. It's a very heavy topic, right?
Yes. So Zesties, you will be in for fun and some thoughts to ponder on as well. So Ray, before we start delving into the deeper topics, let's first go to the lighter ones. So
Yep.
yes, may I ask why you moved out of the Philippines or immigrated to New Zealand?
Right. So the long story short, or the short version of this story, is definitely the same as many Filipino immigrants, which is to find a better life financially, primarily, in another country. So New Zealand was a great option for me, so that's why I chose it. Now, if I'm going to delve slightly deeper, let's just say the major catalyst as to why I was really pushed, or I pushed myself to go out of the Philippines is because of my brother, actually. During that time, or around 2016, he went to the United States to go on his on the job training there through his course in hotel and restaurant management. So
Wow.
yep, he actually had a great experience. He was in Florida in Nickelodeon World, right? And I saw him enjoying himself. But what really triggered me and really pushed me to join is when he told me about his pay. I calculated it. And look, nothing, of course, nothing against blue collar work or whatnot, but he was grilling burgers, he was sweeping and whatnot, as you'd expect from a staff in Nickelodeon World. And his net pay was higher than my gross. And my job entailed helping out the company that Glee and I used to work for earn earn millions of dollars. To be honest, my role as a bid manager then. So part of me felt, that's unfair. I'm working myself off. I'm doing a good job, and I'm not earning right. So let's just say one thing led to another, and here I am in New Zealand.
Oh, wow. Well, I can, but did you consider also that of the cost of living by that time as well, or is it more on like just in terms of dollar figure and you know at the end with the net pay deducting your rent and etc.
Mm,
It's still
mm.
better off?
Look, here's the thing. One of the things that came to my mind was just, I know I'm gonna have a better life outside. That's the main thing that was just running on my mind. And with regard to those things that you talked about, like taxes and other deductibilities, paying for my own rent, learning to do things for myself, these things, yes, I did think about them. But somehow at the back of my mind, it was always, your life is better outside. Your life is better outside. It's a mantra that keeps on repeating. And I'll be honest, yes, there are times, of course, that I have to think about budget, that I have to, think about what or what not to do. But the difference is, I can actually do that here, right? So, Zesties, I can actually succeed in planning my finances. I can actually succeed in spending for my needs and wants. Back in the Philippines, here's the honesty here. If it weren't for the fact that I was living with my parents, I wouldn't be able to enjoy going to the mall every Sunday or Saturday, I wouldn't be able to enjoy buying games for my then PlayStation 4 without dire financial consequences. Whereas here, if I want to buy a game, I shrug my shoulders and buy the game. That's really how it is here. If I want to eat out, I can eat out, right? That's a thing. And yes, some may argue that if you're a parent, it would be different compared to to you being single. And yes, I am single with no kids of my own. But here's the thing: if I was in the Philippines, even with a single lifestyle, I wouldn't be able to do that. So even with all those thoughts marinating, how are we gonna pay for this, this, and this? The answer was always clear at the back of my mind. I can pay for them.
Mm, that's very insightful, Ray. And so do you think that the Philippines as a third world country, I think we both agree that it is categorized as a third world country. Do you think there is a bit of hope in a sense that perhaps you might go back if it will be better in the future, or like, do you think there is hope for progression there?
My fellow Filipinos, I know you will hate me for saying this, but based on my observance of being born and living there for 30 years, my answer is no. I don't see it at all. For the Philippines to progress, it needs a massive cultural shift. And I'm not just saying elections, the mindset has to change. And that change, quite honestly, is all politically incorrect if you're going to consider the standards of these times. I'm saying changing how we view entertainment. I'm saying changing how we make our choices, not just in life but in things like politics and whatnot, engagement like those that are actually, if we're going to be honest, is very much a circus back in the Philippines. We're not going to lie there. And the very fact that some of you might be offended by what I just told you is proof of for me of the massive shift that we need to have. So no, I don't think I'll be going anytime soon because I don't think there will be progress. And yes, if assuming the Philippines can become a first world country, will I consider it? At this point in my life, the answer is still no. Because here in New Zealand, I've dedicated myself to this country, so to speak. I pretty much do not have any plans of moving to Australia like a lot of Kiwis do. That's reserved for other people, that or a lot of people who need that. In here, I'm content. And even if the Philippines becomes a first world country, which I know it won't, in my lifetime at least, there's no way I'm going back. No.
I have to say that I share the same sentiment, and I'm with you there, Ray. It's very hard. I mean, it's gonna be again. I might get canceled with this, but I don't care. but we have to face reality. I mean, it's, as you said, we need a massive cultural shift in both, as a society and
Hmm.
individually as well.